Hello and welcome to episode 20 of Build a Nation Challenge with HNK Vukovar over in Croatia. We're currently, I think we're at about the 10th season. The saves really gathering to pace and we've had what seems to be quite a sensible transfer window. So let's take you through what we've been doing and how we're getting on in the new season. Welcome back. So here we go, taking you through the transfers that have taken place. First of all, tail end of last season. Coming in June, pre-season agreement transfers agreed. Kaglar Yuksek coming in as a young Austrian defender. Again, he'd come in initially with potential. The squad shifted around a bit. He still doesn't look terrible. A good rotation option. He's only 20 years old, so quite tall, good mental, good physical. Not so clever on the old technical. Not too much of a threshold, so we'll probably look to loan him out and move him on. But just that bringing in young players and trying to get them in the squad, especially if they're European. And that brings us on to Levante Toth, a left winger. Kind of bringing him in as a development player, 19-year-old Romanian. You can see he's got a much higher potential threshold on there. Still 3-star current ability, so he's already ready to contribute within the squad. Pereira, who's our first choice on the left-hand side, is foreign national. We brought in some other players as well. Not sure how much game time Toth's going to get unless we manage to move Pereira on, but again, for a 19-year-old, not too pacey, but alright, good at dribbling, good first touch, some good technique and work rate, so I think he's got potential to be a really good player in the future. We just need to get him some game time where we can, potentially loan him out if we can't shuffle the squad around too much, but I think he's a really good sign-in. Bjarne Bedari from Viking, 2.2 million. Norwegian left back, so we don't really play with a left wing further forward, but again, stats wise looking pretty solid, got some potential on him, already ready to play in the first team as well, so strengthening a position we weren't particularly strong in. And then finally João Paulo, Brazilian striker, coming in for competition up front for Martinez. So again, 20-year-old Brazilian, I know it's another foreign player coming in, however I think when you see the stats he's got available to him and the potential threshold he's got on him, considering he's already at that 3.5 stars at 21 years, I think he's got huge potential moving forward. And as you can see down the bottom, he's got 6 goals in his first 10 games in the Croatian league, so a bit of tactics play around with this one as well, trying to still shuffle around them foreign nationals and level out a little bit, which the rest of the transfer window hopefully does. But in terms of trying to sort out some of them squad problems, I've introduced myself. That's a pretty shrewd signing. In terms of the other ones coming in, going out just right at the tail end, Kasper Larsson, who we'd brought in previously, loaned him out to Lokomotiva. We've let him go out, so he's gone for 235,000, so not a huge transfer fee. And Kaglar Yuksek, you can see we've already sent back out on loan. So that's the ones from the previous season. Into the ones this season, it's a bit more stable in terms of what we're doing really. So the ingoings, Luka Letica, 16-year-old defensive midfield Croatian, just put him into our under-19 squad to let him get some development. Again, trying to bring in some homegrown national players, homegrown club players, just for the squad registration rules, and I think he looks like quite a good player to capture within that kind of little squad rotation bubble. So we've brought him in on a free transfer. Antoine Letessier, free transfer from AC Milan. A real competition from Pereira on that left-hand side. Really good physically, technique, crossing and flair. So he's a player that the fans want to see as well. 3.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential. And I think he's got financial value in him as well. Only 24 years old, so we can get him in and get some play time out of him. Joe Reed from Man City, I brought in as a central midfielder from England. I mistakenly thought that they were still within the EU in terms of the club registration rules. However, he counts as another foreign national, so we've loaned him back to Leeds in the Premier League, in the Championship actually, to get him some game time. Possibly a bit of a mistake here on my part. I thought he would be able to come in as one of them European registered players, not to cause me any problems, foreign national. But he's coming on quite a lot of wages, £36,000 per week, so it blows a lot of our other players out of the water for someone who's not going to get to play for us too much as it currently stands, but we could reintroduce him when he returns at the end of the season. But on a free transfer from Man City, not bad player. Fabian Krivac, we brought in, Croatian player and reserved for that kind of advanced midfield role if Mohar moved on, for example. 28-year-old Croatian, he's got the homegrown in nation tag as well, so in terms of the squad registration rule, I thought it was a bit of a necessity to bring him in. I think we're meant to have 8. We're kind of gusting 7. In fact, it's 6 we're meant to have. We're gusting 7. I just need to refresh the squad out with some of them Croatian homegrown players. Aldrich Batumba we brought in as a left back. Again, Belgian, 25-year-old, 12 caps already. Good, solid first team player. Slits in quite well. Badari as well came in as well. So the left back position's pretty solid. Not much more to say about that. Christopher Nlundulu from Nice. Again, opportunity for a free transfer centre half with a bit of potential on him. Again, he's not a foreign national, so just trying to develop him as we move forward. So he's got a good rotational option in there, and he can fill in at full back, at right back as well. Again, solid physical attributes, especially if he's only 23. Probably not going to get too much better than that in terms of the physicals, but just a really solid centre half to have in there. No caps for France, but again, even if we don't get too many games out of him, we can resale him and get some value for it from a free transfer. Radek Novotny from Inter Milan, free transfer right back from the Czech. Again, it's a bit of a theme really. They're all solid physically and mentally. Not quite as good in the technical sphere across the broad range of attributes, but again, as a fullback coming in, £22,500 per week. Got some value on him already to recoup if we move him on. But until we start getting some homegrown Croatian players coming through, or pinching some Croatian players from the other teams, we're going to have to use these free transfers just to bolster the squad out, make a bit of a profit while still remaining competitive in all competitions. After that, £92,000 spent on Adrian Hrnovic. He's a backup goalkeeper. That's what we brought him in for, 2.5 stars. Shopped around for a long time in the transfer window to find a homegrown nation goalkeeper, because we were constantly going into games without a benched goalkeeper, which was causing us some difficulties. So we've got a Croatian now to sit on the bench in that position. Not expecting him to get too much game time because Olmedo is so solid. Marco Fazzini, again from Inter Milan. We've brought him in a third left back, but we're going to send him straight out on loan to Salernitana. Again, high potential. Only 2-star at the minute, so he's behind Badari, for example, but he's got a higher potential threshold, so we'll get him out for a year, bring him back next season, see how he's getting on. And then finally, Semir Kakar, back in on loan. We had him last season. 44 to 55 million pound player we've got coming in on loan to play at right back. So he's taken up some wages and loan fee, but I think the quality of player it's really worth bringing him in that right back position. So that's 3.1 million spent. I think there was 4 from the previous page, 8, 12, 14 players coming in, albeit some have gone back on loan and some are development. So it's not too much of a turmoil of change. In terms of the players going out, we let a couple of players go on a free, so Klaric and Takic, who've been with us for a while. Tunzi we brought as a Swedish striker. He didn't really get the game time. Martinez came in and kind of blew them all away. 475,000 for him. Eldin Mukic, we did want to keep a hold of him, but some big clubs came in for him, and eventually Juventus came in and put in a bid that we couldn't really turn down. 8.8 million going up to 11.5 million. I don't think we can really turn it down for a 19-year-old who wasn't quite ready to fit into that first team mix. Then we've got Antonini Gluic gone out on loan. It's another left back. Again, he's Croatian, I believe. Yeah, for homegrown nation, we'll bring him back and reintegrate him into the squad. Jumovic, we've let go to Rapid for 84,000. Simunovic, a right back's gone to Roma for 4.5. Again, he's one I wanted to keep originally, but he got so disgruntled when Roma came in with a bid that we just had to let him go, take some money from him and reinvest elsewhere. But that one sale on its own, even if it's only 4.5 million, it removes all the transfers we paid going out. Lutar's gone away on loan. Nazareno, we let go to PSG for 6.5 to 11 million. Now, he was a really promising right winger from Ecuador. However, the foreign national status really just kind of made it really difficult to get him any kind of game time. We had Mike Wazowski on the side, Bukvic as well, so it was really difficult to get him in, so we've cashed in on him, got about 11 million. Tim Broich, we've put out on loan. He's a former Next Gen winner. Well, he won the whole award. So we've put him out on loan initially. We might bring him back with a formation change and play 2 up top. That would mean he would be the substitute striker, but that's something I'm playing with when we get to the tactics in a minute. Matakis gone for 600,000. Again, I think he's a really solid striker. He's got some really good stats on him, and it's a shame to let him go for such a paltry price. But He just wasn't getting any teammate in Martinez, and with Paulo coming in as well, he's just not getting any games at all. Zdenek Svoboda, he'd been with us for a number of years, couldn't get into the first team because of Pereira on the left hand side. We've got Tessier as well, so he's moved on for 350,000, and then a few players going out on loan. Patrick and Kem, who's been with us for a number of years, again foreign national, we put out on loan. This one's a bit controversial. Cherniak, he's a really solid centre half, huge potential. We've actually loaned him to Hajduk. He's worth 12 million. I couldn't give all our centre. We've got some really good centre halves at the club. In fact, I would say that's our strongest position with Sangante and Gasparic, and we've got the Bulgarian in there as well. We've got the young French lad we've just signed. I couldn't give him all games, so I've let him go to Hajduk because he's going to play at a high competitive level. Let them do some of that development activity for us, and then bring him back. He's only 20, so he'll easily refit back into the squad. Marco Fazzini, we can go and load down Joe Reed. So that's all the transfers in, which essentially makes the squad look like this. So it's not massive in terms of positions. We've now got 2 solid goalkeepers, quite a well-balanced squad. The only issue, and I'll still put my hands up and say I've not quite got the balance right yet, is number of foreign nationals. We've got Paulo and Martinez, again 2 great keepers. One's a wonder kid and one's better than him, which makes it difficult. We've got Pereira, we've got Moha, Kamara, Burkhardt, who we've arranged a future transfer for actually to get rid of another foreign national, Sangante and Almeida. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, with 1 more on the way out in Burkhardt. He's going for about 2.2 to 4.8 million. And then you can see one sneaky little transfer that I'm bringing in here as well is Pavel Ivanov, the young Bulgarian, 18 years old. He's playing either central midfield or that advanced midfield role, just to get another young player with some great stats in on a development contract, and he's coming on the cheap. So all told, that makes the squad planner look pretty strong. This time with the squad planner, to make it a little bit better, I've brought in the development players as well. So in terms of goalkeeper, we've got Almeida, we've got Hrnovic, and we've got Hybus coming through the youth system. Left back, got Batumba, Badari, Fazzini out on loan, and Loiter as well for a homegrown. On the right, we've got Kakarin on loan, Novotny, and Nadrosovic is homegrown. In terms of centre halves, that's where we're strongest. Gasparic and Sangante being the best 2. Zahariev, the Bulgarian, the young French lad, and Ludulu, and then 2 really good players out on loan as well. So again, it's such a shame to let Kazerniak go out on loan, but we can't give him the time he wants to keep him happy. In terms of midfield, Kamara, Bakovic, Krivak, pretty solid. Reed out on loan, getting development. Mohar can play in there. Postolov and Javorcic. Advanced midfielder, we've got Mohars, it's kind of his at the minute to lose. Krivak's behind him. Burkhardt was in there, but we're going to let him go in Apostolov. On the right, we've got Mike Wazowski, Bukvic, Krivak can play out there, Hisimovic, and then Kadama, who's out on loan. On the left, pretty strong, we've got Tazier out there, Pereira, and he's the one I think we might cash in on. Although he looks like a truly phenomenal player, I'm a bit loath to let him go anywhere, but I just don't see how I can get him and Tazier both in the same team when none of them can play on the right hand side. So outside of trying to retrain one of them, which I might do, and turn one on the right hand side into an inside forward, I'll have a look at what the stats are like, but yeah, it's hard to get both of them in the same team. And we've got Levante Toth in there as well, and Bukvic. And then up front, we've got João Paulo, who is a truly gifted striker at only 21 years old. We've got Sergio Martinez, who's our highest ever season goal scorer, 20-year-old Paraguayan, who at the minute seems quite content to sit on the bench, which takes us nicely into the tactics page. And this is what we're predominantly sitting with, 3 supporters in midfield, which in terms of, it's looking a little bit weak on that right hand side, but it's quite tight. Occasionally we will go like this and put the 2 strikers on, but it means we miss out on Mohar's creativity. So it's a bit of a fine balance. Things are going reasonably well in terms of the schedule. Again, the only loss we've had so far was against Villarreal, a 2-1 defeat in the Champions League, which again, a bit disappointing. We were 1-0 up, but we just couldn't hold on, but they're just better than us. And the other game in there was against Nice in the Champions League. So we've got 1 point from 2 games, which isn't ideal. What that means in terms of the competitions is we're currently top of the Croatian League. on 22 points, goal difference 13. I think we are the best team at the minute. Dynamo can go past us when they play their game in hand. Champions League wise, we're currently sliding out the bottom of the group stage, which isn't ideal. We need to try and find some wins to get us back in there. And then the Croatian Cup, we've not really played any games in yet, but we've got a game against Granica Zapanja. Development Centre and players out on loan. You can see there's one in and then a few out there just to develop for next season. Finance wise, we've got £31 million in the bank. Club vision wise, what I'm pleased to see is they want us to develop the best youth system in the country, so that's going to let us kind of develop some of the other facilities we've got in there. And winning the league is something they want to end the current season. Getting into the Champions League proper we've already done, and stay within the wage budget should be quite easy with the budget we've got. In terms of the club info and the facilities, got exceptional youth recruitment, only adequate academy coaching, good youth facilities, excellent training facilities. Pitch conditions pretty poor. We could look at getting that relayed, and I think they are currently expanding the stadium, due to move back into the 4,500. So that's going to boost us a little bit as well. Nothing really to speak of in the scouting, and then I think that's pretty much it. Dynamics wise, happiness. There are a few players here who are concerned. Reference their game time. I have been in and just adjusted their squad status. For anyone who's not sure how to do that, you can go in here, you go into overview and happiness, and that gives you what their agreed playing time is, and essentially you can go in here and amend it. It's currently agreed as being regular style. If you go down and they're not happy, it'll tell you, but essentially you just take it down as low as it goes until you get this message, and they're generally content to take that change, and that's hopefully going to lead to a better happiness around the club. The dynamics will pick up a little bit, and we'll go on to a bit more of a winning streak. So that should serve you as an update as to where we are. We're doing pretty well, to be honest. I think in terms of the 10 years we've been at the club, we've become financially stable. We've won the league a couple of times, we've won the cup a few times. In terms of the coefficients now, we've got up to 9th on 63, so tied with Turkey. That's the next one we need to target. So another good season this season. What are we gonna? We're gonna slip a 7.5. In fact, that'll be next season. We're going to make some ground on the teams above us, so it's just about putting, if we can get another one near the 20s again, it'll put us in good stead. We're currently at 4.2. We just need to make sure we keep progressing through all the cup rounds and get that coefficient up. So hopefully you've enjoyed the update. I'll get on with a few games. I'll come back at the end of season review to see how we've got on, see if we've boosted that coefficient. Squad's looking pretty handy. Might have 2 wonder kid strikers up front, which is going to be a massive boost, and I'll hopefully be back in a few days with an update on where we are. So once again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Enjoy your football, enjoy your saves, enjoy your football manager. I'll see you soon.